No, it's not your phone heating up. It's today's guest. I have with me the one and only Gian, Hollywood actor, stuntman, and peak performance strategist who's built his career on delivering under extreme pressure where there is no margin of error. And that's literally speaking. So you may have seen him on shows like SWAT, 911, The Rookie. But what I love most about Gian is he's translated these skills into the business world. So if you're wondering what the cheat code is for success, then today you're going to get it because Gian is the creator of the G Code framework and he's also a published author. And he helps entrepreneurs and high performers crush it in their business and life. And so if you're looking for motivation, this is not it. But if you're looking for the fastest path to success, then strap in because we have the real G in the house. Gian, welcome to the Never Settle podcast. I'm super excited to have you on.
What's going on, Rich? Thanks for having me, man. I'm super excited to be here.
All right, let's firstly talk about I know everyone's very curious about the roles you played as a stuntman, particularly, but I want to go through the psychology of that. Like, does it take a crazy person to do it, and or what's the mentality of a person that does that? And can you share with us a real story where things almost went pear-shaped, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, definitely. So first off, no, it doesn't take a crazy person to do it. I mean, I'm a little on the crazy side, but it all takes is a disciplined and really focused individual that is in control of their body and their environment. And so if you can really lock in on those skills, you can become a stuntman with, adequate training. And so a lot of times people think, stunt guys are fearless or they're reckless, and it's actually the exact opposite. They put in so much time, we put in so much time in preparation that when it's time to perform the stunt, whether that's getting shot, blown up, falling off a building, we've rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed, and all of that's about to come to light. So we're actually prepared for the moment. And not only that, it takes a team. We have a whole team that are putting safety precautions and safety measures in place. So you're actually really safe. And then what you see on TV, it's just little snippets. We put it together to make it like more scary than what it is. But like you said, there was a time, during rehearsals, things can go a little iffy. I was out in Budapest a few years back, and the famous chain bridge out there, we were doing a stunt off of that. And it was like one of the first stunts they were like allowing people to actually fall off the bridge. So during rehearsals, it's one of those things you don't know what's going to happen until you do it. Because for me, that was the first time my body was falling off that bridge. So you can plan it, you can look down, you can prep it, but at the end of the day, you won't know until you just go over. And so me and my scene partner, we did the little fight, the choreography that we had, and then it was time to go over. And we were just gonna go over one at a time just to get the feel of it before we actually tussle and go over together. And Rich, the first take, man, I go over that thing. I'm pretty nervous. I go over that thing and I'm padded up. I got a helmet on. I got safety gear, elbows, knee pads, everything, because you're protected head to toe when you're rehearsing. And I cracked my head on the bridge. And thank goodness I had the helmet on, but I forgot my mouth guard. So I bit my tongue. My arm got wrapped in my harness. It just ripped my shoulder back. I had bruises. I was bleeding. And it was one of those things, everybody's looking and, they're asking you, gee, you okay? You good? I saw your head bang off that. It's like, no, I'm good, man. We're good. We're good. And inside you're just thinking, holy crap, I got to go up there and do it again and again and again. And after you've been hurt, it takes a certain perseverance and determination to keep going. And so sometimes you really got to dig in deep because at that moment, it's not just me relying on me. This is a whole production that flew me out from Hollywood all the way to Budapest. There's hundreds of people watching. They're making sure everybody's relying on this moment. And so you don't have time to really second guess yourself. You don't have time to doubt. You have to brush yourself off, get back up, perform it again, which I went over again, hit the light on the way down again. And I just had to keep doing it, keep doing it. And after about 16 hours of doing that over the course of 2.5 days, we get to the final shoot day. And then it's like muscle memory. And then you go over, you get that take, and that's what the finished product is.
It sounds easier than it is. Is that how you met your wife, by the way? She saw this poor puppy dog get injured and is like, started nurturing you and stuff.
Yeah, I milk it from time to time. No, I didn't meet her. I didn't meet her on set. She's a hairstylist, but I didn't meet her on set. No, she
Yeah,
stays
yeah,
far
yeah.
away from the camera.
Okay, because there's so much translations to this in the entrepreneurial business or personal life. But I want to talk about like, um, how do you not choke? When the time comes, and you see in sport all the time, they're the ones that can just finish it and see it to completion, and there's one that choke all the time. So I don't know what goes through your mind around that, because a lot of people maybe choke on a sales call, they'll choke when they're posting content, they'll choke when they're maybe having a hard conversation with their spouse, whatever the case may be. But you just seem to just get on with it.
Yeah, and Rich, it comes down to this is what I coach my clients on, is becoming the person who can't be ignored. And what that means is really owning your identity, walking in that authority, and being congruent across all aspects of life. And so when I am finally in front of the camera and about to perform, whether that's on a sales call, whether that's on stage, whether that's on Zoom, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I've put in so much time and preparation for that moment that when I'm finally up there, it's muscle memory. It's another rehearsal. So behind the scenes, you guys see the final product, but behind the scenes, I'm going to the gym. I'm training knife fighting, jujitsu, boxing, gun training. I'm getting into the ice bath and lowering it to 38 degrees so it's freezing and forcing myself to sit in there to build that mental toughness, because being on that bridge, I wanted to walk away, of course, right? But I can tap into that inner strength, realizing, I've done more with less in the past. I've sat in an ice bath, freezing, wanting to get out, but forcing myself to sit in that discomfort. Because I talk about this in my book, comfort is the kryptonite to peak performance. You can't get anywhere in your comfort zone. You have to live in that discomfort. And so what I look for every day is I put myself in uncomfortable situations. So when I'm placed in an uncomfortable situation out of my control, it feels like a comfort zone to me, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's huge. And so when you failed or when you had that injury and you had to go back again, what goes through your mind? Do you ever think about giving up? And if not, why not?
You know what? Every once in a while in my mind, it'll pop up because I'm human, right? You're gonna have those doubts pop up for a quick second, but I've trained myself to say, no, 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 that's not G talking. That's outside
Mm.
noise. That's not G. That's not my words. And the moment I say that, I recognize that as resistance. I recognize that as the enemy, and I let it go one ear, out the other. Because it's normal. You fail, you get hurt, you lose at something. It's hard to pick yourself back up and go out of there. You might be embarrassed, you might be nervous, you might be scared. So you're gonna have that doubt, but recognizing that voice in your head isn't your voice. That doesn't come anywhere from your belief system. And there's two brains, right? You can operate with the what if of, man, what if I go up there again and get injured? What happens? What if I step on the stage and I don't close the sales call? What if this way? But I like to flip it around and say, what if I succeed? What if I perfectly jump off that bridge? What if I close the biggest client of my life? Because on set, Rich, we have two cameras. We have camera A and we have camera B. And both of these cameras are shooting the same scene, but from different angles. And what happens at the end of the day is the directors, the editors, they go into the editing bay, they look at the different camera angles, and they take the one that's gonna be the best for the final footage. And so when I'm talking to my clients, I realize a lot of times they're looking at everything through camera B, and camera B is not giving them the perspective that is gonna benefit them in life. So I always say, you have two cameras filming your life. Why don't you just choose the right one that's going to give you the better perspective that can actually, propel you forward in life? So I always say, go for camera A, because at the end of the day, you're filming every single day the movie of your life, your blockbuster movie, and you get to decide, you get to control what you want that final edit to look like.
So good, so good. So which is scarier for you? Because I know you've done a lot of public speaking as well now, and thank you for your book too, by the way.
Yeah, no
Which is
problem.
scarier, like, jumping off a bridge or going through fires or the fear of judgment when you're speaking in front of an audience. You know how some people have like, that kind of
Yeah,
fear, the
yeah.
intangible fears.
Yeah, you know what? For me, it's gonna be jumping off the bridge. It's gonna be doing the stunt work. I've been vocal my whole life. It's been something from playing sports at an early age. I mean, I've always played up because I was the second of four boys. So I always played two grade levels above, hanging out with my brother and all of his friends. So I always got moved up. But all the older guys always called me the general. And it didn't really resonate till a few years ago what they meant by that, because I was always the vocal leader. I was always the one that will, lead my team into battle. I'm always the one that speaks up first. So getting in front of people and talking to people and speaking to people and sharing with people and really helping people, that is my zone of genius. That's what I love to be. So the stunts is definitely more scary because, Rich, I don't know about you, I've never fallen off of a stage. I never got injured on a stage or never been shot at when I was up there. And I can't say the same when I'm on set. So
I think I was the opposite. If I started all over, I'd rather jump off a bridge than public speak. But that was me. Okay.
but that's a lot of people though, right? We get
Yeah.
a lot of people like that because it is scary if you haven't spoken in front of audiences before. But an easy tip, an easy trick, and I've taken a lot of stuff from my acting world and the improv to help my entrepreneurs and coaches really speak on stages or in sales conversion calls. Because what happens is when you're up there, most of the time you're nervous because you're focused on you. You're focused on how do you look, how you're going to deliver the message. Everything is on you. And if you really step back and understand, that's not the reason you were brought to that stage. That's not the reason I'm on set filming this TV show or this movie. When I'm doing that, it's to entertain the audience. When I'm on stage coaching or motivating the audience, it's for them. I'm supposed to be there to help them. Put the focus on the audience. That takes the stress off of you and just lock in with one person in the crowd and speak to that one person. And it makes it really easy if you look through the lens that there's somebody in this audience that needs to hear this message today. And if I don't deliver them this message, their whole life is going to go down the drain. And anytime I step on stage, that's how I feel. I said, there's one person, here's what I have to say, and it changes their life. This is a win. And it's the urgency, right? The urgency. Someone here needs this message. They need me to speak. I am doing a disservice if I don't get this message out to them. And when I put the focus on the audience and the crowd, it makes speaking really, really easy. So little tip there for that.
Okay, so is that kind of the same way on how you deal with critics? Because you must have gotten a lot of critics. Maybe I'm just guessing, and that's kind of translated to like success in business or personal life. It's like I want the success, I want to change, but I'm afraid of people just criticizing me or just people
Yeah.
judging. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and for sure, right? So my whole thing is I've fallen in love with rejection. I'm getting rejected at least bare minimum 4 to 5 times a week. Because if I audition, I don't hear back, that's rejection. They didn't call me back, right? So they're critiquing you in there, they're criticizing you in there, they're seeing if you're right for the part. But what I've realized is it's not about me. And what I mean is when I first moved to LA, I would get on, going to an audition, trying to guess. I'm trying to guess what the casting director's like. And a lot of times what you see now is coaches and entrepreneurs are trying to guess what their client is going to want when they're pitching to them. When I started booking the most, what the shift was, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in there. I'm going to be G. I'm going to give them my interpretation of that. I'm going to walk and own my identity, walk in my authority. And whatever happens, happens. And the moment that shift happened, I started booking more work. And so it's the same thing in conversion calls, right? You're on sales call. Quit trying to guess what they want. You know what it is that you offer. Have authority. Authority is certainty. Certainty and belief in who you are, the offer you bring, and the value it has. And when you have that certainty in that, you can face rejection because they're not saying no to you. You were being you. It just wasn't right for them. And so I teach everybody, fall in love with rejection. Because Rich, I love going out there collecting no's. Because I've learned in the entertainment business, the more no's I collect, there's gonna be that yes. And once you get that yes, and you step on stage, you step on set, you close a big deal, you don't remember any of those no's. Those don't matter at all. It's like, if you're trying to date somebody or you're going out and you're saying no, 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 and then that one woman that you really wanted says yes, now you're married, you're happy, you don't think about all those no's. And we sit there and we fear rejection, but we have to understand rejection and failure are part of the formula for success. You can't have success without becoming a beginner first. And so the fastest way to get to mastery is get through the beginning phase. So get rejected as fast as you possibly can so you can overcome that and then get to the next part of the journey.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay, I know a lot of people watching right now are thinking, yeah, but you know what? I'm not G. I'm not you. I don't have that energy. you were always like that. You were born like that. So can you speak into that? I don't know the old G versus the new G. But can you speak into people who say, well, I'm just not like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I totally understand that, right? I come from a home. My parents are still married. I have three brothers. Great upbringing, great home. So I understand people do come from a struggling situation, either financially or a broken home. And I totally understand that. I empathize with that. And I totally respect that. But one thing I can say that you can do from here on out, you can show up to everything that you do in your relationship, your job, your fitness, across all aspects of life as if it's day one. And what I mean is when you show up as if it's day one, that's where the excitement was. That's when you were energized. That's when you were motivated. That's when you were loving this new thing that you were going to do before you faced the rejection and the fear and all of that other stuff that came with it. But this is the reason I feel like a lot of people lose that lust for life is because they stop showing up in the relationships with their spouse as if it's day one. When you were courting her or him and you were falling in love, when you got that new job and you were showing up early and so excited, I approach every single day as if it's day one. I'm alive. God bless me being here again. I'm ready to go. I'm grateful for this opportunity. And that's why the G code, the foundational piece is gratitude, because waking up tomorrow is not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Getting a new client is not guaranteed. Getting a new acting job we don't have guarantees in life, but we walk around acting as if and moving as if we're going to be around as guaranteed for the next 50 years. I'm operating like today is the last day that I have. So sure, you may not have my type of energy. You may not have my upbringing, but one thing you can do is you can find that lust for life again and really start showing up grateful in all aspects and showing up in every aspect of your life as if it's day one.
So good, so good. And you can't feel fear with gratitude, and it's free to feel grateful every day. So, okay, you touched on the G code. I want to talk a bit more about what's in this book as well. And by the way, if you want a copy of this book and you want it signed, well, bad luck. This is the only signed copy. So actually,
Yeah,
maybe
Rich only got it. Nobody else is getting a signed copy. That's one of one.
first five people that comment below book get a signed copy from G. That's my that's
There we go.
now,
There
now
we
I'm
go.
gonna get in trouble. Cool. Okay, so with that being said, like, people who are watching this right now. Okay. I feel this energy. I feel like you've got this winner mindset. And if I go for it, what if I leave some people behind, And that concern there. So can you speak into, because you've socialized with some very high net worth circles as well. So you're very familiar with this. So can you talk into that?
Yeah. I'll release everybody with the freedom of that right now. You're going to leave people behind, unfortunately.
Oof.
And it's not because you're purposely doing it. You're not going to be like, I'm going to get a new circle. No. When you start shining your light brighter, it does make some of your friends and family feel uncomfortable. And they will naturally just slowly stop answering your calls. They'll start gravitating away from you. And there's nothing you can do about that. Because what I've always done is wherever I'm going, my people, you're more than welcome to come with me. And I'm going to give you the cheat codes to success to get there. I'll bring you up, but you have to show up. You have to show up. I can't show up for you. And so as long as you show up, come on. But once again, for you guys of that, here's one guarantee in life. The only person you're going to spend your entire life with is you. That's it. So you better be happy with that person staring back in the mirror. So free yourself of your friends judging you. You may have non-supportive family members or spouses. That's going to happen. You have to keep shining your light bright. So you will lose people along the way, but you can't concern yourself over other people's actions. You just can't. You can't.
Okay. I want to talk a bit more about the book, but I got another question. How quickly can someone change?
Overnight. It's instantaneous. And this is the reason I say this, because everything, going back to the book, everything I teach in the G code, every single thing I wrote about in here, none of it is theory. Everything is tried and true principles from my life or from other people that I've coached. Everything in there. And so I know for a fact right now, if any of you guys are watching this, you're having a hard day, a hard moment, hard life, whatever the case is, I guarantee if you sit with yourself and you run through all the things you can find to be grateful for. I don't care the smallest thing. I'm grateful that I'm breathing right now. I'm grateful I have 2 legs. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. Whatever the case is, you start rooting that moment in gratitude, your whole life and perspective will change on a dime. Guaranteed. And Rich, I make guarantees, and I guarantee if you apply the G code, your whole life will change for the better. If you stack these 5 principles in this order that I put in the book, your whole life will change for the better. And once again, this is not theory. I stand behind my product 1000%. I've seen it work for countless individuals in all different walks of life. And like I said, I put the G code to the test. This is stuff that I looked at my whole life. When were the times I was having success? When was I going through really rough patches? And what was the through line? And I found that through line, which was the G code. And then I laid it all out here for everybody to, experience for themselves.
So good. I think everyone wants a copy of your book right now. So if you want a copy of his book, just type in book below, or type in G code in the comment section below. The first 5 that types in G code, he's going to send you a signed copy. But that's my promise, not his.
No, I'll do it. I'll back you.
Yeah. All right. Well, you said there's 5 principles. Do you want to give us a sneak peek of another principle in this book? Because I do agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, no. Let's hit the next one. So with gratitude, right? It's proven that you cannot attract what you want if you're not grateful for what you currently have. It's a universal law, period. Everything starts with gratitude. You wake up in the morning, be grateful. You go to bed at night, make sure you're grateful. You fill your soul and your heart with gratitude, everything changes. From there, you have to have clarity, right? If you don't have a clear direction of where you want to go, it'll take you anywhere. I was training as a stuntman, and we were doing something called high falls. We were about 30 feet up in the air, and we're falling onto a safety bag. And if you land a little off on the safety bag, you can bounce off, you can hit the ground. Things could get bad. There's a small chance, but things could get bad. But you have a target that you're really trying to hit, because on the day of, the safety bag might be smaller. You need to make sure it hits it so the frame, the camera catches you in frame, all these things. So we're falling, and I keep missing my mark. And I'm missing my mark over and over again. And my mentor at the time, he's a stunt coordinator. He calls me over and said, G, get on over here. An old guy, right? And he's like, get on over here, G. I said, what's up, man? He's like, hey, the reason you're missing your mark is because where your eyes go, the body follows. Your eyes are looking over here as you're trying to fall here, and that's why you're missing your mark. And I stood back, and he was talking about driving and fighting and falling. But I was like, no, that applies to life. Wherever your eyes are focused on, that body is naturally going to follow. I've had clients going through marital problems. Well, guess what? You got wandering eyes. You're looking elsewhere instead of looking at your spouse. People, career problems. You got the shiny object syndrome. You're looking over here when you need to be going over there, so your body's naturally gravitating. So you have to stay focused on, where you want to go, and clarity is a huge piece, and that's why it's stacked right after gratitude.
Wow. All right, ladies and gents. Well, your eyes only need to be at one place right now. That's this book here, the G Code. Gian, it's been a pleasure, man. This has been fire. We could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours. Dude, thank you for being on the podcast. And maybe do you have like a motto, a life motto, one final life motto that you could share to end this podcast?
Yeah, definitely. So first off, Rich, thanks for having me on the pod, man. Yeah, we could talk for hours. This could be 8 hours. So we'll definitely have to link up again. So this was great. Had an awesome time. Yeah, guys. So this is what I tell everybody. Whatever you're doing in life, your relationships, your job, your fitness, whatever you're trying to accomplish, stay locked in. Stay focused on the task. Stay focused on where you want to go. Stay locked in. Don't deviate from what it is that you want. You can design the life that you desire.
So good. Comment G code below, and he'll let you know on how you can get a copy of his book. G, all right, congratulations, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, my man. I'll see you next time.